this is Adam Wolf, physical therapist. Today I wanted to share with you some strategies I utilize to lengthen the anterior and posterior X's of the body, what also maybe are known as the slings of the body. I like to utilize the slings because we exist in rotation through life. Even when we're walking and we're moving through rotation, or through the sagittal plane, we've still got rotation that's occurring to propel us forward. And so taking advantage of these slings or X's of the body become really important. At any one time when we're walking, there's an anterior X or sling that's lengthened. We've got the bicep, pec, external oblique, internal oblique, hip flexor, quad, all the way down. This front system is all lengthened together, and at the same time we've got the left hamstring, left glute, thoracolumbar fascia, right lat, right tricep, all lengthened together. And so we've always got one that's long on each side of the body, in the front and the back. This is important for me because, as we've talked about, the body does not know what a muscle is. That's a man-made construct. The body knows what motion is and how to control motion and the forces presented to us. I believe that most times injury occurs when forces are presented to our body that the body can't handle as they're still being presented. And then there's an overload. Unless it's a crush injury, you're walking on the street and a piano falls on your head. Those forces that are presented oftentimes are through rotation that we can't control. And so the majority of injuries occur in the rotational plane. And so taking advantage of strengthening and lengthening the anterior and posterior X together as one unit can be pretty important. It's a powerful strategy. And so to lengthen the anterior X, there's a number of ways that I can do it. Starting statically, I can get into this position. I think about sort of a warrior position, a modified warrior, where my hand is up against, I've got it blocked into door frame or something. If I drive this knee forward, I've got my bicep, pec, external oblique, internal oblique. I've got my adductor all lengthened together, and I can start to drive motion in the sagittal plane. I can start to drive motion frontal plane. I can start to use a pelvic driver or my other hand to start to create some length in the front of the system there, that anterior X. Statically, to stretch the posterior X, what I can do, and again, there's a number of different strategies to do it. The one that I probably like the best, I'll take my knee and cross it over, or my ankle and cross it over the opposite knee. I like to sit down in a chair. This hand is going to reach a little higher. This hand's going to be right here. So right now I've got my left glute, thoracolumbar fascia, right lat all lengthened together. I'm going to pull with my top hand and push with my bottom hand. And as I do that, I lengthen that entire combination of tissue out together. I like this also because it takes advantage of that pulling and pushing. Anytime you can pull and push, that's a powerful strategy because it takes advantage of the principles of tensegrity, which incorporate compression and tension always in everything we do. And so I can tension my body out by pulling, I can compress by pushing, and I can isolate out that stretch in different regions by pushing in different places. If I push up here, I'm going to stretch up here. If I push down here, I'm going to get it a little lower. And so these become some powerful ways to sort of stretch the entire chain together. I can make either of those exercises more dynamic. As I said when we were here, I can start adding a drive of my hands or my pelvis. I can start to take a step through that if I wanted with my hand anchored. Same thing here. I can start to drive my body. I can reach over this way as I do that a little bit. I can reach back behind me. I can add some varying dynamic motions to it. A full active motion for the anterior X, I can do a rotational lunge, right? So if this is forward for me and I do a right foot, rotational lunge, and I take my right hand and rotate it right at shoulder height as I do it, I lengthen that entire combination together. I'll stop out here. I've got all of this lengthened together, and I want to try to take that through one whole motion. I like rotation. Rotation's our friend. We want to try to use some momentum through rotation. So that's for the anterior X. Active motion for the posterior X could be a sagittal lunge. My right hand will reach out, or hand's going to reach outside the stepping knee. Right here, I've got a posterior X. And stop right here. I've got my left glute, thoracolumbar fascia, right lat all lengthened together. And again, I can take this through some dynamic motions. I personally, especially for the throwers or swing sport athletes, combine these two through a dynamic warm-up, and it'll look like this. I have like a weight or a light weight or a water bottle maybe in my hand, and I can start here, and I'm going to take a step forward. There's the posterior, and then here's the anterior X. So it's two lunges. It's a sagittal lunge. It's a same side rotational lunge. And I'm going to take my hand and use this as a lever to really create some momentum through these two motions here. And it's a great exercise to really wind up. Don't hit yourself on the pole. When you're doing this at the gym, be prepared to get some strange looks at when you're working out. And for people, that's fun. People where I'm at here, they're used to it anyway. So check it out. I suggest you try it. It's been a really powerful strategy for me. We also, it's only part of the entire chain, and we've got lateral and anterior and posterior chains to deal with as well. So thanks. Hopefully you like this. Check out my website for more blog and other videos.